Hey, y'all, welcome back to the Chalk Sports Podcast, and we got Atlas again. It's time to talk about the Big Ten. We were getting ready for college football season, and I was going back and forth on I got Atlas. Should I do a preview of the off-season, recap it, or should I get into conferences? And it made sense to just get into the best conference in the league, the Big Ten. And I mean, he'll hate on the SEC as much as he wants, because you guys know he loves the SEC. It's his favorite conference, but you just got to keep it a little low.
Yeah, I mean, after this last year, I'd say the Big Ten has really stamped their mark on being the best conference in college football. Like it, love it, hate it, whatever you want to say.
They'll all hate it.
Yeah, the Big Ten's the best conference. It's all right, though.
And they dominated even I think the transfer portal rankings. Yeah, they were number one with Indiana. Big 12 was number 2 with Texas Tech, and then it was just a bunch of SEC teams. But, I mean, let's get right into... We're going to skip the bottom teams. Purdue exists. They're going to be just as bad. Fair?
Yeah, Purdue, they probably shouldn't be anything.
Maryland, same deal. Michigan, probably same deal.
Yeah, they got the 5-star in. They had a Malik Washington, the freshman quarterback last year. He balled out. So they might be a bit better, but nothing crazy.
Yeah. Michigan State, probably same deal. Not really.
Yeah, they got the new coach. Oh gosh, I'm forgetting on his name. He was the old Northwestern coach. I actually think he's a good get for the program, but I think they're going to need a couple years to build the program.
Pat Fitzgerald.
There you go.
Right? Yeah, Pat Fitzgerald.
Yep.
I mean, we'll see what happens with him. I don't think is Wisconsin going to make a scare?
So they actually hit the transfer portal really, really well this year, and I love a ton of their transfers. I mean, it starts out with they got the Old Dominion quarterback who now for 2 years I've been calling him Group of 5, Johnny Manziel. He's probably not that good, but he's really good. His name's Colton Joseph. But then they just overhauled in the portal. They just got a ton of guys. They got some wide receivers, some defensive depth. I think they got a couple of running backs too. Like they went all in on the portal, and I just think that's because I think Luke Fickell got the ultimatum of, "Hey, last year sucked. We won't fire you, but you really need to prove it this next year." So I think that's what they're going to do. I don't think they'll be anything great, but I think they can be in like the tier 3 of the Big Ten. So
yeah, and they got. I mean, I remember Colton Joseph now. I was blanking on his name for a second. They got Abu Sama, who I vaguely remember.
Yeah, that's the running back. Yep. Yeah, the Iowa State kid. He's really good. I like him.
And Marvin Burks, I don't know a ton about him. I don't do pre-prep for draft, but I'm pretty sure he's solid based off of size and being in Missouri. Yeah. That kind of tells a lot. What else teams are not scary? Rutgers, I don't expect anything from. I think they're going to be worse than Wisconsin even.
They'll be terrible.
Because they lost their best guy in Calcamanis, and I loved him. I thought he was the best thing since bread, but losing to him, they lost the 2 transfers that they get are Malachi Davis, and I feel like I've heard that name before, and Rondo Porter, but they lost Ian Strong, they lost Bohm, they lost Tajon White. That's nothing. That's not a good sign for a team that's trying to compete in the best conference in college football.
Yeah.
UCLA?
I mean, they got gosh, I'm so blinking on names. They got a new coach, Bob Chesney.
Yes, they got the guy they liked. It was he came in. Didn't he come in and it was he was dominant?
He was the JMU coach.
Yeah. Oh.
Let me look.
I got you. Bo Chesney. Yeah, you were right.
Yeah. So he came in. I mean, I don't think there'll be anything year 1, but I think they have a promising future.
Yeah, their transfers aren't bad. Looking at it from that perspective, I don't know what to expect. I mean, that team's a little weird.
Theoretically, they're second in the Big Ten for transfers this year, so not bad. But they have a lot of ways to go.
Oh, because they added. Holy!
It's just because they added a lot. Yeah,
43 stars is insane work.
I mean, they basically just have a new team.
Yeah, it's just a rehaul, which might be for the best. Northwestern.
So interesting about Northwestern, they got Aiden Childs, the Michigan State quarterback. So he was a lot of hype coming in as a freshman and stuff, and just never panned out under Jonathan Smith. He was at Oregon State and then followed him to Michigan State. So now he's at Northwestern, and he also has Chip Kelly now as his OC. So
And they
I
got
think Northwestern
Sawchuck.
could be a scary or a sneaky good team, but they have a murder's row for a schedule this year, I'm pretty sure. So I don't really expect too much from them.
And they got Gavin Sawchuck, which does scare me. Because I know I've watched a decent bit of Gavin Sawchuck. But yeah, that murder.
Yeah,
Oh, that schedule's brutal.
yeah. Gavin Sawchuk was really good at
Florida State.
Well, I didn't think he was that good at Florida State, but he was really good at Oklahoma.
Oh, that's
Um,
right.
I thought he
Oh, it's
dropped
so
off a
weird.
bit at Florida State, but I also think Florida State was kind of, I don't know, it was a hit or miss there. So
Hey, listen. No, but they do have a murder. It's Indiana, Penn State, and back to back, and then they play Iowa. They play Oregon, Iowa, Ohio State to close out the season in the latter half.
I
Which
will
is
say that
a
Penn
lot.
State game is when they get to play their first game in the new stadium.
Oh, they're getting a new stadium.
Yep, they get a new stadium.
They're gonna throw it in. They're gonna throw it in Fenway or something. That'll be the game. They'll be like,
I don't know
yeah.
where it is, to be honest, but
Or is it
yeah,
the Illinois game that gets moved? I think it's the
I'm
Illinois
not
game.
for sure.
What else? Oh, I just closed ESPN. That sucks. What else? Who's next?
Minnesota, I think will be some of the same, just kind of what they usually are. And then we talked about Michigan State. I don't know what to really think about Illinois. They got Caton Hauser as
Yeah,
their transfer quarterback. I don't really know what to think of him. I think he's an all right guy from ECU. I don't think he's anything great. I think Illinois, I don't think they'll be as good as last year. I think they'll probably be fighting for a bowl game.
they lost a lot in the
Uh,
transfer portal.
yeah. Another all right team is Nebraska. They lost Dylan Raiola. They got Anthony Colandrea or Calandria, whatever you want to say, in the
Yeah,
portal. He's all right. Was a Virginia kid, went to UNLV, balled out, came to Nebraska. I don't know. I think they'll just be all right. I don't think they'll be anything crazy. And then Penn State, I'm higher on than you, but
I'm so low on them. I don't know how you high.
I think they'll be fine. They got a really good quarterback in Rocco Beck. They got one of the better tight ends in the Big Ten in Brahmer coming over from Iowa State. They also got a pretty solid running back in Carson Hansen. Yet, also remember, they kept a lot of that Penn State team that is theoretically a high recruits. But yeah, I mean, and Iowa State brought over all their elite cornerbacks. Let me find exactly who.
I just think I'm scared of that. Oh, you're looking at for corners, Jeremiah Cooper.
Jeremiah Cooper. Yep. That's the
I'm
kid
just.
that he's. But they brought up multiple
They
cornerbacks
brought
from.
so many. Holy Iowa State. They
Yeah,
brought
Jeremiah
a
Cooper's
lot
a
of
beast.
DBs.
Yeah, all those DBs are good.
Yeah.
I even like
Marcus Neal.
what they put Hunter Sowell. Oh, is that brother to Chase Sowell? Never mind. But yeah.
Chase Sowell's also there, so I'm assuming yes.
Yeah, Chase Sowell. Yeah, I like Chase Sowell. He was a ECU wide receiver 2 years ago. Went to Iowa State last year. Didn't see that much burn. I was kind of disappointed, but I just think this team. I think this team is going to be fine. I don't think they're going to be like competing against Penn State or Iowa State or Ohio State, Oregon, Indiana, any of that stuff. They'll probably get blown out by those teams, but I think they'll beat up on the bad Big Ten, like the bad parts of the Big Ten.
I mean, by the way, holy ball knowledge. The fact that you pulled a Chase out of the hat going to ECU is crazy. No, I like.
He's ECU. He went. Oh gosh, I did get this wrong. I want to say he almost went for 1,000 yards at ECU 2 years ago, but
I mean, you might be right. I don't. It doesn't say that
because I remember it was him and Xavier Townsend coming over. Xavier Townsend came from UCF, but those are both guys who went to Iowa State this last year that I really thought were going to show out, but. They really didn't do too much.
Yeah, and I think Benjamin Bomber is probably going to be the best tight end in college football.
I was going to say people think he will be.
I don't see how. I mean, you could argue otherwise, but I see him as the top.
And then Rocco Beck is a guy that he's been he's been a very good quarterback for so many years now.
Yeah.
And people are in the portal, this guy was ranked higher. Their backup QB, Alec Mansky, he's I want to say he's a freshman that Iowa State recruited, and he was going to be their next guy behind Rocco Beck, but now he's transferred to Penn State, and he's going to be their next guy there. And like he's literally 20th best quarterback in the portal, where Rocco Beck was 36th.
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, I believe him. I think that team, you're kind of convincing me more. I'm just so worried about the middle parts. Like, Iowa State is they brought over a good program, But those middle areas, like, can you fill, or is it just going to be the difference makers between like beating up on the bad teams versus climbing up against Illinois or
And
Washington?
I think you have to also think too, like Penn State, like not everybody left from that team, so like they're still pretty decent. Like they kept some good guys. Okay, like let me roll you through this schedule, and you tell me W or L. I just want to hear your first take.
All right.
Okay, Marshall,
Win. W.
Temple,
W.
Buffalo,
W.
Wisconsin,
W.
Northwestern.
That one, just because of the stadium, it might be a maybe, but I'd probably say W.
So we're 5-0 right now.
Yeah.
USC.
That's an L.
Michigan.
L because it's in the big house.
Yep. So that's 5-2. Purdue.
That's a W.
6-2. Washington.
L.
At Washington. So 6-3. Minnesota.
I'll say W because it's in Happy
How
Valley.
How about this? The last 3 games between Minnesota, Rutgers, and Maryland, they go 2-1.
Yeah, that's probably what I was. That's what I was leaning.
That's an 8-4 season right there.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
That is okay. That convinced me more than anything because it's just like you said, that's such an easy schedule that you could say, oh, they might have had a good season. I don't know how much I'll believe it because I don't know what's the coaching look like. Who did they hire?
They got the DC. Their DC is
Matt Campbell.
DC from Matt Campbell, but they got the DC from USC, which on hindsight sounds bad, but USC actually was improving their defense every year under Danton Lynn. His last name is Lynn. I forget his first name.
I don't know who you're pulling. Oh, Matt Campbell. Oh, Matt Campbell's the Iowa State guy. Never mind.
Yeah, I'm talking about the DC at Iowa State. And I think that's a good hire. But yeah.
I mean, I heard bad things about Matt Campbell. When I was listening to like part of my take and stuff, they were like giving crazy crap to the Penn State fan. So it's kind of from what I've heard, it's not the best, but
I personally don't know. So
those guys can shock you. So let's get into a more comparable team.
Let's do Iowa next. Let's get into
the Iowa Hawkeyes.
So Iowa, I'm pretty sure they're keeping Mark Gronowski for another year. Am I right? I think I'm right.
I think you're right on that. They didn't lose any 4-stars.
No, I just want to say, like, it's hard to evaluate Iowa because they're Iowa. 2 years ago, I thought they were going to be this great team. They end up being pretty okay. Last year, I thought they were going to fall off a cliff and not be very good at all. They were, again, just pretty good. Like, they're always just, like, an 8-win football team.
You were right. They're keeping Mark, by the way.
Yeah, so like I just don't know what too much to expect from them because they're gonna do the same crap every year. They're gonna go like 8-4, 9-3, 7-5. They're not gonna do anything great, but they're not gonna do anything bad. So it's hard for me to kind of predict them.
Let me flip it on you. You tell me W or L now. Okay. Northern Illinois.
W.
Iowa State in Iowa.
W.
Northern Iowa.
W.
Michigan in Big House.
L.
Ohio State in Iowa.
L.
Yeah. Washington in Washington.
L.
Minnesota in Minnesota.
W.
Wisconsin in Iowa. That's a tough one.
W.
Northwestern in Northwestern.
Let's say W there.
Purdue in Iowa.
W.
Illinois versus in Illinois.
W.
Nebraska in Iowa.
Since I gave so many W's there, I'd give an L there.
So you literally had an 8-4 season, the perfect mid, and that's Iowa football. Like I think that's a comfortable spot to be in, especially in the Big Ten where there's such a divide between the top and the low.
Yeah, no, I don't know what to say. Like that's just what they are, and I think the fans now are just like they're okay with it.
Yeah, they're content. What's funny is like even looking at it now, Iowa's like transfer portal is just mid. There's nothing really special about it. There's nothing really bad about it. They didn't lose. They only lost 8 people, only gained 15. Yeah. So like they're not even losing a crazy amount, and they're not gaining a crazy amount. It's just kind of flat. I wonder what their recruiting class is. Oh, it's also just mid. It's 7th. Yeah. I noted. Iowa football is just gonna be mid. Who do you want to head on next? We got Washington, Michigan, USC.
I say we go Michigan next.
All right. So this is a that's a
So they
solid
just
team.
got they just got a new coach, Kyle Whittingham, the former Utah coach.
Yeah.
They got some transfers in, but they really didn't bring that much over. So he's still kind of just working with what the Michigan roster was, which I don't think was that bad. Now, I wish he would have brought over either Devin Dampier or Bird Ficklin, the quarterbacks.
Oh, I like
Um,
Devin Dampier.
I wish he would have brought up Bird Ficklin to back up Underwood, just because I think Bird Ficklin's actually really good and could play after Underwood. But he still got Underwood, so he has a really good quarterback. The run game should be more than fine. Did he get any pass catchers in the
Not
portal?
any. Says Sleaze Moa might be a pass catcher. He's ruled as an athlete, but he's 6'2",
Yeah, I don't know
175.
what he really plays. He's a Utah. He's a recruit. He's not even a.
JJ
Yeah, I don't think he's.
Buchanan from Utah.
Oh, they got Taylor Tatum. He was a former number one overall
That's a
running
running
back.
back. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they don't.
Yeah,
Oh, I
no, they
remember
didn't get
him.
any. Doesn't look like they really got. Oh, they got Jamie French. He's not too bad, but they didn't get many pass catchers. And I think that's just their biggest issue is pass catching. They literally can't catch a ball at all. Like I
Yeah.
feel bad for people like Bryce Underwood because no one can catch the ball. So I don't know. Maybe Kyle Whittingham has some black magic he can use to help this team out. But I think this team will be pretty average in the Big Ten. I think they will beat the teams below them, but lose to the teams above them pretty handily.
Yeah, and even in looking at like 24/7 Sports and looking at who they were getting, it's all there's like some wide receiver like we see Travis Johnson who's from Chesapeake. I don't know anything about the high school guys.
Yeah, I
But
hardly
like
do either.
they're getting 5 stars, but it's like running back, or they have like 3 quarterbacks in this class, or a bunch of edges. So they're building the outside of the team. But I wonder what's who's going to be thrown to, because I think they lost Marsh, right? Didn't he move, or is he still there?
Well, they
Oh, he's a
lost.
freshman. Never mind, he probably
They
still.
lost McCauley, who was their best wide receiver. I think they lost McCauley. Here, I can look.
Well, they lost Haynes, which was brutal. He's going to be awesome at Georgia Tech, though.
Oh yeah.
I don't see any wide receivers they lost in transfer, but that obviously is the transfer.
No, but I think they lost Donovan McCauley, which will hurt.
Yeah, that's not a. Yeah, I don't know. It's such a wonky team because it's so you could like I understand if somebody believes in them because they obviously have the home field advantage. I think they're still dominant.
Yeah,
at
and
home.
Whittingham's a crazy good coach. I mean, last
Yeah.
year Utah was knocking on the door of the playoffs,
Yeah.
and you could potentially fight me, and I wouldn't disagree if say like Michigan is technically a more talented team than Utah. So
Yeah.
like theoretically, but I think it's just a lot harder to play in the Big Ten. Like, I mean, you have to play Ohio State, you have to play.
They have the worst
Penn
schedule
State.
possible. I
You have
think.
to play Indiana. You have to play Oregon. You have to play USC. Like you have to play teams like that are just so tough.
Yeah, they have to play you have to play Iowa, Indiana, Penn State, Oregon, and Ohio State all in the same season.
Yeah, like they could lose all 4 of those, or they could lose 3 of those, and like you lose 3 of those, you're probably not in the playoffs. You know?
No, if you lose to, you have to beat Ohio State, but at that point, I don't think they will. But they play Oregon in Oregon and Ohio State in Ohio State. The only reason I think they do have a chance of winning 2 of those is just because they play Indiana and Penn State both at home. But they also play them back to back. So it's like there's such a push and pull with it where Indiana might have an easier opponent before. I don't know. I'm looking at that now, but it's such a uncomfortable. They play Rutgers. Oh, they play Ohio State before, so never mind that. But it's like such a weird position for Michigan, where they might have a competent team. Whittingham might do that black magic, but I mean, are they beating Oklahoma? Or are they beating Iowa or Penn? Like, that's such a weird spot for them to where they might lose 4 games off of just opponent matching alone, which is so brutal, but it's kind of how the college football rolls. Also, them being ranked dead last in transfer portal definitely doesn't help my outlook on them. Who's next?
USC?
Sure. That's a team.
Yeah, so USC is a team that I am probably going to be criminally high on them. I forgot what I put them in my way too early top 25.
Yeah. Oh, the fact that you put them in there alone would definitely ruffle some feathers.
I put them 9th.
Oh, wow. That's hot.
So I think they're going to be crazy good. So why I think this is they returned their quarterback. Their quarterback, Jane Maeva, he was great.
Yeah.
They returned I think, all three of the running backs, or at least two of them. But two of them got injured last year, and then King Miller came in, and King Miller was technically a walk-on, and he destroyed everybody. But then they bring back, I think is it Wayman Jordan and the New Mexico kid. Crap, I forget his name. But Sanders, I think.
I'll get it. Running back. Oh,
yeah, I can look too.
I'm trying to find it. I'm there, I think. Where is it? Oh, I just bookmarked it instead of hitting find. That's brutal.
Okay, so they lose Eli Sanders, but they keep Wayman Jordan and King Miller. And those guys are going to be absolute studs. They have Jaden Maeva, like I said. And I think one of their biggest question marks this year is wide receivers. But you just trust them in wide receiver. You just have to.
I mean, they added the guy out of North Carolina State. Terrell Anderson.
Anderson. Yeah. Yeah, but
sure.
I think they return all but one of their offensive linemen. So they have the same team, and their defense, I think they lost some people, but they have been building on this defense for a long time now. And also they just got the top class by a long shot this year. And you can't tell me there aren't some freshmen who are going to be able to fill in some places, especially in parts like the cornerback room where you don't have to be as physically developed, or even wide receiver room. So I just don't see this team not being really good. Now, will they beat Oregon? Will they beat Ohio State? Will they beat Indiana? I don't know, but I think they can beat everybody else after that.
Yeah. Yeah, they have those are the three tough. That's so brutal is that the three tough ones are all there. Indiana, Ohio State, Oregon, because those are the big three. I know we were talking about earlier where Ohio State and Indiana, but Oregon's in the middle between.
But I think this is a do or die year for Lane Kiffin to make the playoffs.
Yeah, but I mean, it is kind of tough because they do have obviously the freshman class. They're number one, and it's by 10 points on Alabama, which is pretty impressive when you factor in between second and third and fifth place. It's
I don't know if you remember this, but last year they were really good. Last year who they lose to? They lost to.
Let's see. They lost to Illinois. That was a close game though. That was barely
that was
lost.
A game that they probably shouldn't have lost that, but if they didn't lose that game to Illinois, they are in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They lose to Notre Dame, who is, I think most people thought that they were potentially one of the best teams in the country at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And they only lost them by 10. And then they lost to Oregon pretty handily, but Oregon was in the semifinals. And you could argue and say Oregon was, they would have won if Indiana wasn't a team.
Yeah.
So, and then obviously they lost to TCU in the bowl game, but all bowl
nobody
games you kind of just take it with a grain of salt. But I don't know. I just think you look at last year's team and what they did was pretty impressive, and I think they're nothing but better this next year. So, and I think it's gonna be weird, but I think they're gonna really be able to just trust the run game next year and really bully people. And this is the first time last year where I remember Michigan coming into town and they bullied them on the offensive line, which is shocking. You just don't see that with USC, but they literally handled them. King Miller ran for 158 yards.
Yeah, and on the other side, Marshall was only held to 68. Yeah. I remember
you look at these stat lines, or these are just not USC stat lines. These are rushing yards: 158, 70, 129, 127, 83. 30 was bad, but that was against Oregon, and they were behind the whole game.
Yeah,
and then 124. They bullied people.
Yeah, they averaged 6.2 and 6.5 between the two running backs per run.
Yeah. So I just really think that this team can't. Obviously, you could fall apart, but I think this team. I think this is the year. Jane Maeva's back after this is Jane Maeva's, I think, last year. So he's gone after this year, so they have to retool there. But this is the year I think they had built for. I wish one of those wide receivers were back, Lemon and Lane, but it is what it is. But I don't know. That's just my take on them. But I think they're really good.
Yeah, they were both for sure gone. But even like you said, the freshmen, where they're getting a guy 6'7", 320, and he's ranked number 1 in the state, number 1 in position, and 5th nationally at an offensive tackle position. That's what you're doing. That's what he's starting. Lane Kiffin is doing, is just building those guys from the start.
Here's your issue though, for USC, and this is what could be their Achilles heel. This year they play Oregon, they play Ohio State, they play Indiana. If they can't get over the hump in any of those games, the best they are going is probably 9-3.
Yeah. And I'm worried about Penn State and Happy
Valley. They also play Washington. They also play Penn State at Penn State, and I'm assuming, not a guarantee, I'm assuming that's going to be Penn State's night game because I think that's their biggest game this year. They also then the next week go and play, well, they get a bye week, so that's nice, but they go and play Wisconsin on the road. That could potentially be a night game. I don't know if you remember Penn State 2 years ago going into, or was it Oregon? I think it was Oregon.
I remember Bama had a scare in Wisconsin.
Yeah, well, I think Oregon went into Wisconsin, and that was almost a scare. That place is not, in general, a hard place to play, but if you catch them at the right time, it's a very hard place to play.
Washington played there, and Illinois played there, and they both lost to them.
Yeah, so that's not an easy place to play. So you have 3 potential surefire losses, and you have 3 other games that are tough. So, this could easily be an 8-4 season, and that would be disappointing.
And even now, UCLA.
Your hope is that they can knock off 1 or 2 of Ohio State, Indiana, Oregon.
If you beat 2, I have a tough time seeing them not make the playoff. If you beat 2,
even if you lose another game, I would say you're in.
If you lose all of those, then yeah, there's no playoff chance. I just worry about, like you said, the receiving. Wow, the receiving core being so shot. They didn't really replace anybody. I mean, Terrell Anderson, count it what you will, he's not a Mekhi Lemon, and he's not a Jacoby Lane.
No, but I just wonder how good these freshmen are.
Yeah, but they don't have any wide receivers. They have Caden Dix-Watt. They have Luke Weaver. So they have a few wide receivers, but it's nothing like, their upper echelon is offensive tackle. It's all trenches.
I think Mosley's supposed to be really good. I could be wrong though.
Mosley? Who's Mosley? Oh, whoa.
Mosley and Dixon, I think, are the 2 good ones.
Yeah, Dixon Wyatt looks, I mean, statistically wise, he's ranked high, and he's also 6'2", and from California. California produced some crazy wide receivers. They have 12. Oh, they have 12 in this group. Oh, I see Trent Mosley now, but he's short. They have Luke Weaver, who.
Yeah, I think the Mosley kid is like faster than fast, like Zachariah Branch, basically. Think.
Oh, that would be fun. If they found that, then you know what? I don't think they could. I think it'll be like a season that is sealed by what can you do in the big. I know we kind of just wrapped it all around to what can you do in the big game, but that's what it is.
Well, it's what can you do in those 3 games, like those Oregon, Indiana, Ohio State. Like if you can't beat any of those teams, then chalk it up.
Yeah, but then that's what's kind of expected of you.
Yeah.
Is not being able to win those 3. That's why, I pulled up a way too early top 25 just to see how that USC comparison takes. It doesn't kick too hard, actually. It seems like even some people have them at 12. That's what I saw was 12, which is very good for USC standard, considering lately it's just been midseason after midseason after midseason. They haven't had anything that's shocks me by any means. They haven't had anything that. Where's the USC football? I can't find that. I'm trying to find that one website. There it is. Sports Reference. They haven't had a crazy good season in a minute, which is okay. But when was the last time they were ranked? They were ranked in 2022 with Caleb Williams. So you have to see that shift, or like you said, Lincoln Riley's probably on his hot seat. And if you get on your hot seat, then I'm curious if he'll do the classic. I forgot his name. I'm blanking on the Florida coach, but where you heat up at the end, you turn it all around. But since 2022, Lincoln Riley's only gone downhill.
Yeah,
we'll see what he can do. You want to move on to who's left? Oregon, Ohio State, Indiana.
Did we do Washington or no?
Oh, we didn't. I don't think so.
So I mean, we don't need to go too long on Washington. I think the big thing on them is how does the locker room care about Damon Williams? I don't know if you heard, but he he signed his deal to return, and then a couple days after he hit the transfer portal, and he's legally binded by his contract. Yeah, he got sued. Basically, he's legally binded his contract to stay at Washington, so he did. Now, Jed Fish just came out, their coach, and said that there is no hard feelings between anybody. This is just sadly how college football world works now. Like there's coaches that contacted him and told him he would get more money if he came and played for them. So he goes, it's really like, it sucks, but there's nothing we can do. It's literally how college football is now.
Yeah.
So, but like they were a solid team last year. The big issue they ran into is when they played the good teams like Michigan, Ohio State,
Wisconsin.
Well, not really that, but yeah.
Yeah, but
like their offense was so good in the bad games, and they played those games and a fucking like fell off. Like I'll literally pull up like the scores here quick.
Yeah, it was 24-6, 24-7, 13-10 against Wisconsin, 26-14 against Oregon.
Well, like look at these. I'm gonna read you all the wins, the amount of points they put up: 38, 70, 59, 24, 38, 42, 49, 28, 38. So all really high scores. All their losses, 6, 7, 10, 14.
Yeah.
And that was Oregon, Michigan, Ohio State, Wisconsin. When they ran into pretty good defenses, they were bad.
Yeah.
And when they played mid to bad teams, their offense looked elite. So I just think they got to figure out a way to get over that hump of like not getting like, it's like sticking your hand in a fan, you know, like it just stops it. Like it just stops it and the fan can break down. And that's what these teams did. They just took their hand in the fan and it just stopped everything. So if they can find a way to break past that point, I think this team could be pretty good this next year. Sadly, I just don't think they're going to. I have them as like the fifth best team in the Big Ten.
So the real worry for me is you lost, obviously, Demond Williams and him doing that stuff, but also you lost Jonah Coleman.
And you lost Denzel Boston, their leading wide receiver.
Yeah, well, Denzel Boston's an absolute beast. So it's kind of like, what is your transfer portal was good, your recruiting portal was good, your transfer portal was meh at best. Do you have somebody to step up and replace those two? Because those two were the big pieces. Boston led in majority of those games. Jonah was pretty much the biggest running back besides for Williams Jr. himself. Muhammad played good at the end.
I was going to say, Muhammad, I think, is actually, I don't know if he's Jonah Coleman level, but he has potential.
Yeah, he almost outran Williams passing against Oregon, which is something that maybe some looking at, but I feel like you have to see so much growth. And we can run this game, but what do they win? They don't win. They don't have a tough schedule.
I don't have it up. Let me look it up.
I got you. It's Washington State. Win.
W.
Utah State.
W.
Eastern Washington.
W.
Minnesota in Washington.
W.
USC in USC.
L.
Iowa in Washington.
W.
Oh. Purdue in Purdue.
L.
Oh,
sorry, it's a W.
I was gonna say, really? Nebraska in Nebraska.
Since they gave Iowa the win against Iowa, I'll say the L here.
All right. Penn State in Washington.
I'll give a W here.
Michigan State in Michigan State.
W.
Indiana in Washington.
L.
And then Oregon in Oregon.
L. So 1, 2.
So you have them going higher than
8 and 4.
No, you have them 9.
Lost to USC, Nebraska, Indiana, Oregon, right?
I think you gave USC the W. Or no, I think you gave them the W against... Oh, maybe I'm tripping. It might be 9. Let's say 9. Or let's say 8.
I will say this. They'll go potentially the same record as USC or maybe even better, but I think USC will be the better team. Because
100%. 100% they'll be a better team.
Also, if they could go into those last 2 weeks sitting 9-1.
Yeah, if they go in that and then win one of those games, all you have to do is win one. Then you're in
the playoffs.
Because I think those games, I think they should be punished for early in the season, but they're not going to punish them for it. So it's going to be because it's all recency bias. If I honestly think if they beat Oregon and lose to Indiana, which is less likely in my opinion because it's a home versus away, they would give them more credit than if they beat Indiana and lost to Oregon, which is just kind of how recency bias works, in my opinion.
Yeah, like sadly, it's just how it works.
Yeah, and that would kick off a team that would probably be deserving of it. But it would be interesting to see, like, okay, will we have another situation where USC is going to be the do or die for Washington and USC? Because if they end up in a position where Notre Dame and Miami, where they end up fighting for one spot, and then, Washington beat USC.
Well, you think about it. If they beat USC and run the table, they could be 10-0 going into the last 2 weeks. You know how they'd be like top 5 at the very least.
Yeah, they would be because
probably top 3.
I think that Iowa game might be scary, but Penn State is only good at home, in my opinion, just because of what they've built. And I know we've already talked about Penn State and the whole thing, but if they went 10-0, there's no way they don't make the playoffs in that spot.
Oh yeah,
because you can blame them for losing to Indiana and Oregon, but how much are you going to blame a team losing to the top 3 in their they play 2 of the top 3 teams in their conference?
Yeah,
they have such a brutal draw in that fact of let's go play Indiana and then we have to play Oregon in the back-to-back weeks. So Washington done. It's time for the big 3. Who do you want to hit first?
Let's go Oregon, Ohio State, Indiana.
All right, so Oregon. What do you think of this team? That's
I think this is this is supposed to be Oregon's year.
Yeah.
Like I don't think last year was at all. My biggest question for them is their offensive line. They lost a lot of pieces on their offensive line. Last year they had to use the portal for the offensive line, and it worked great. This year they didn't, and this year they're trusting their development. Now it's a lot of upperclassmen, which is great, but I don't know how great they'll be. But like this is their year. Now I thought they were the best team 2 years ago when Ohio State beat them in the Rose Bowl. Yeah. Ohio State got really hot and they hit at the right time. But I thought throughout the year they were the best team. I thought that was their year, but I don't think last year was their year at all. So what they did was great. But you have Dante Moore coming back. But not only that, you have Dylan Raiola backing Dante Moore up. So if for some reason Dante Moore goes down, you shouldn't lose too much of a step. Then you also got Jordan Davis, Daher Hill Jr., the 2 running backs. They were freshmen last year, and they were beasts. They made people like Mekhi Hughes, who was a superstar at Tulane, transfer out and ask for no playing time because he knew he wasn't going to get any. So those 2 guys are beasts. Their wide receivers are okay. I like McLennan. DeCorian Moore, I think, will be a superstar in the making. But they get back Evan Stewart this year. If you don't remember, 2 years ago, he was pretty insane. He was their second receiver behind Tez Johnson.
That makes sense.
And he was injured all last year from a ACL he had in practice. They also get, I think his name is Gatlin Bear. I want to say he's a white kid, wide receiver freshman who everyone is talking about. He's from Montana, Idaho, South Dakota. I don't know, somewhere up there. But I think he's as fast as lightning. So I think he's really good. And then the defense, they didn't lose too many pieces. And one of their biggest losses was honestly Dylan Thiemann, the Purdue transfer, but they got Coy Parrish. That's a 1-for-1 right there. Coy Parrish might be one of the best backfield guys in the country, and he can also play both sides if they really need him to. So I think this team has a shot to win it all. I really, really do. My only issue with them is just the whole bias of they haven't been able to get it done. And 2 years ago, they were the best team. They were the best team in the country, and they didn't get it done. They let Ohio State just freaking stomp all over them. Now, Ohio State kind of stomped over everybody, but they shouldn't have let that happen regardless. Yeah. So, and then last year with Indiana, I think Indiana was the better team, but they just let Indiana just walk all over them. Where during the season, I know they were home, but they didn't let Indiana walk all over them. But in the postseason,
It was an ass kicking.
It was a massacre. So
Yeah.
this is their year. I think they can do it, but I have a hard time trusting them.
Yeah, and that stretch is scary. Of Ohio State and Michigan back to back is kind of brutal, but that's the only tough part of their schedule. They don't have Indiana. They don't have like a crazy. I mean, Washington obviously we talked about it earlier was scary. Illinois could be just because it's in Illinois, and same thing for USC. It could be just because it's in USC. But I mean, otherwise, I don't see them having too much hiccups in there. And again, like you said, that it's going to be a lot of the O line because that's my opinion. Is like the most important position in football is the trenches. When you're win the trenches and you are a very good team, lose it. We saw it with Michigan not too long ago. Lose the trenches and you are screwed as a team.
Yeah,
and that's kind of a weird middle ground they have to battle. They lost some. Their recruiting class is good. They have like there's one kid that is making me a little intrigued, and Emmanuel Inecho. I think I pronounced that right. Who's 6 foot? He's 6'5". He's 6'5", I think, and he's 345 as an interior O lineman. That sounds like a guy they might end up starting pretty much right away. Because he has he's ranked number 2 in interior lineman. He was getting chased by LSU, Auburn, Penn State, Alabama, like the best interior O lineman team possible. And he chose Oregon, which makes me excited.
Yeah, offensive lineman is the hardest position for me personally to not only evaluate, but just like know what the coaches are thinking because you just don't get to see practice every day, so you just don't see it,
Yeah, and I mean, I love watching interior. Offensive line is one of the most exciting positions for me, just because it's such a good. If you win the trenches, like I can't. Which team were we talking about? Was it Washington? Who was winning? No.
USC started winning the trenches.
USC wins the trenches, and that's like what I've always valued is, can you win the trenches battle? Because we saw it with Michigan when they dominated. Indiana was a little bit of a mix, but Ohio State dominated in the trenches. So the most recent champions all were so good at those tough, close battles because they win those games now. All of a sudden, your run game becomes more valuable. Your pass game has more time to where it can make up for weaknesses in other positions where your wide receivers might not be the best or your running backs might not be the fastest or the strongest. But okay, my offensive line gave me 3 yards to move. That's a lot of space in football.
Yeah.
And I think that could be the difference maker. I mean, they didn't have a better transfer portal class than Purdue. I don't know what to think about that. It's so hard
because so many people like leave Oregon because
because of the playing time.
So it's hard to evaluate like the quality of players they got in are probably just a lot higher. Yeah. But they also lost a high quality of player, if that makes sense. Because
in Bryson Beaver for some reason. I don't know why he's here.
Like Purdue, like all the guys that probably left Purdue that maybe can't get playing time were probably trash, Yeah.
Man, screw Purdue. Anyways, let's move on to Ohio State.
So my biggest question for Ohio State is, especially on the defensive side, last year the big question was how we're going to replace all this talent. They did a great job replacing it by the guys they already have. Well, now they have so many first-round draft picks and going to be just draft picks in general, the defensive side. So now you are replacing 2 years of talent.
Yeah.
Do they just replace it one for one? Like, is their system just good? I know they got some transfers this year. I think the transfers they got, though, they didn't really get any star guys, so I think they're trying just to make sure they build their depth.
Terry Moore from Duke and Arrow Little would be the only two that I'd say were like competent defensive replacements.
Yeah, but that's just my thing. I just don't know like how much that is going to hurt them, and maybe they don't take a step back at all. Maybe they just have guys their second, third, fourth strings are just ready to go, and it could be. But that just 2 years of draft picks, like you're gonna have to fall off at some point. And then on the offensive side, what scares me is you lost your wide receivers coach, who was your offensive coordinator last year. I'm blanking on his name. Brian Hartline.
Yeah.
And I don't know who they got as their offensive coordinator, but it doesn't really matter. But Brian Hartline, I mean, a couple of those wide receivers left. Now you don't have the wide receiver coach who has had all these great wide receiver weapons.
Jason.
You're also bringing in another running back. Or wait, no, wait. They keep Peoples. Never mind.
They brought
But still,
Jacoby though. Jacoby Jackson.
yeah. So the running back should be fine. But you do get another year of Jillian Sang. So I mean, there's a lot of question marks I have with this team, but unlike Oregon, I kind of just trust Ohio State and Ryan Day. I think
Yeah.
he's done a great job. He's gotten the big one done. Even last year, where I actually thought last year they were going to have a somewhat down year. I think I preseason rated them like 7th or so. They proved me wrong in that sake. And I said they could be really good. They just have a ton of question marks. Well, they answered all those question marks. They were great last year. They just, I mean, the reason they lost to Miami is because for the most part, Julian Sayin threw a pick 6, and that literally just flipped the game on its head.
Yeah, and that week of rest, I think, kills teams.
Yeah. So they literally started off slow, but if you start with the game at halftime, they would have won the game. So, and at one point they had it to a 1-score game until Miami basically ran out the clock. So, like, they were a really good team last year, but you always just think, like, is there any time, like, is regression ever going to happen? So, I don't know. I think they'll still be a great team. I just don't know if they're going to win it all.
I think that the regression thing is going to hit this year. Because I've been looking at, like, obviously I'm super in depth.
When we say regression, we don't mean like 8-4. We mean like maybe like from 6 to 10.
I think 8-4 is. It's not. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's definitely feasible just based off their schedule.
What's their schedule?
All right, Ball State,
W.
Texas in Texas.
I'll give them an L.
Kent State,
W.
Illinois,
W.
Iowa in Iowa,
W.
Maryland,
W.
Indiana in Indiana,
L.
USC in USC.
I'll give them the W, but that's a tough game.
They had a bye week, so that one would be a reason.
Yeah.
Oregon in Ohio State.
I'll give them the W. I'll give them the L there.
Yeah, that's like what I'm saying. Indiana, USC, Oregon, and then they have to play Northwestern,
W.
Nebraska in Nebraska,
W.
and Michigan in Ohio State.
Yeah, I think if they lose Michigan, they probably win some other game, or like Indiana or Oregon. So
that's a 9-3, which is like it doesn't sound
like it's like 6 to 10, like ranking wise, like 10th, you know.
Yeah, a little bit, because I think they'll give them credit for obviously having such a tough schedule. But it's just kind of funny to look at, like, okay, if I'm pulling up the draft board and going to Ohio State, just Ohio State, if I can find
Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles,
Caleb Downs.
They even have
Hayden McDonald, Davidson. Literally, you could just go through and just, like, Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs.
They had a great draft class last year, which they did, but like they almost matched it this year, which is insane to think.
Yeah, and it's all like Caden Curry. He's like such a good edge rusher. He had a 90.6 grade, which is 12th out of all edges. He's gone. You're losing. Okay, now we're out of it. But that's still what 1, 2, both linebackers, 3 in Caleb Downs, 4 in Caden McDonald's, 5 in Davidson, 6 in Caden Curry, 7 in Lorenzo Styles, and that's 7. So 7 people total. I think I'd count it right. 7 people is a lot, and when you're considering that you had to replace it all last year, you have to do it again. At what point does it say, like, we can't do it? And the schedule with Texas at Texas, in Indiana, in USC, the bye week does help them there. But I mean, they're going from USC to Oregon, so now you got to go back to Ohio State. So that's a long flight if we're doing the miles. And then now you Northwestern, and then you go back to Nebraska. You go into Nebraska, which is a decent drive, and then Michigan. It feels like there's so much that's going to weigh them down. There's so many things that are lining up against them.
I agree.
And that it's not a shot at Ohio State by any means. Like, it's just a matter of, listen, your time is coming. Like, you were good for a while, which is fine. but eventually you have to take that shot so next year you can bounce back. You have the third best recruiting class. I mean, you can't be a poor rebuild and then you have good talent like a 5-star linebacker in Johnson and a 4-star in Jay Timmons he's a corner from Pennsylvania. Like you're getting that talent, you're replacing those guys. It's just going to take a year, and that's fine. That's my opinion on it. You want to get into the last team, the best team, the Indiana Hoosiers.
Yeah, I mean, Cignetti has done what coaches can't do. He turned around a team real quick. I was right about this team, and then I was wrong about this team. I was right about them the first year. I said they would go. I had a large bet, like $1,000 bet. It was pretty large for me. I had $1,000 bet on them to go over their win total because it was set at 5.5 games. I was like, they're easily going bowling because I said what Kurt Cignetti did in the portal is he built a group of 5 superstar team.
Yeah.
He literally went to different group of 5 teams and took their best player, And I was like, this team is pretty good. I think they were going to win like 11 games. No, I personally predicted them like 9 wins. So I took the W on that. Last year, weird. I had them, I think, 12th in my talent rankings, and everyone called me crazy. They're like, no, like a lot of people had them ranked like 20th or so, maybe highest like 19, 18, but a lot of them had them in like the 20s and stuff. Some people didn't even have them ranked. And I was like, I think this team's like almost a top 10 team. I said, this team is really talented. But I will say, going through the year, I didn't pick them to win against Oregon. I did pick them to win against Illinois, though. So a lot of people forget about that game. A lot of people had Illinois winning. Illinois is a top 10 team at that point.
Yeah.
But I didn't pick them against Oregon. I didn't pick them against Ohio State. I picked them in every game in the playoffs, but like I didn't pick them against Oregon and Ohio State. So if you want to call me wrong for that, I'm A-okay with that because I was wrong.
That Illinois game is crazy. I forgot about that. I forgot for a second.
But Cignetti, what he has proven, either him and his coaches, they know how to evaluate talent. A lot of these coaches just go after, wow, he is on a top 10 team. He's a backup. He's probably pretty good. Kurt Cignetti does not care about that. He cares about the actual individual and the actual talent and playing on the field. And he, a lot of the times, values production over projection. So he cares about you playing on Saturdays already. So that's why like he goes in a lot of times and get these group of 5 guys who have already put up a lot of stats and a lot of numbers because he knows they're good. He knows when Saturday comes, they will get up, strap up, and perform instead of getting a third string on Bama that is a junior now who was a 4 to 5 star in high school and theoretically he should be good. No, he's probably a bust. So Kurt Cignetti has just mastered evaluation, and that's why he's been so good. So now when he gets a lot of these transfers in now, I'm just going to blindly trust him. Now, like Josh Hoover, their quarterback they got in from TCU, he is a beast. Even before he went to Indiana, I thought he was a beast. His biggest issue, though, is he's a gunslinger at heart, which gunslingers are turnover prone. They just they chuck it. They're awesome. Yeah, they're awesome. They're super electric. They can run around the field sometimes. They can just air that thing out like 80 yards down the field, but they'll throw picks because they're not scared. And what Kurt Cignetti did with Fernando Mendoza is Fernando Mendoza was not turnover prone like at all. So Kurt Cignetti has to change Hoover a bit. Now it doesn't mean he can't throw some picks and still be successful because let's be honest, once Indiana got going this year, no one was stopping them. Like you could have had probably a little bit lesser of a quarterback and still won. Yeah. So I don't think they need to be that. But Indiana lost a good amount of pieces this last year. But I think they'll be back in contention. I don't think Indiana is a team that is unstoppable, though. Look at 2 years ago. That wasn't very far ago. And Indiana, when they ran into really good teams, they got blown out. They got blown out by Ohio State, and they got very manhandled by Notre Dame. So just because this last year happened doesn't mean they're going to repeat it. Now, saying that, I think I preseason rated them like 2 or 3 so far. So I think they'll be right back in the mix. again, I think the Big Ten is Indiana, Ohio State, Oregon, kind of 1A, 1B, 1C.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see. And again, a lot of those transfers, like Josh Hoover, we just need to see how he looks in the first couple big games in an Indiana uniform to really know what we're going to get out of him. But yeah, I mean, like they lost a lot of their running backs, they lost a lot of their wide receivers, but I mean, they got Turbo Richards, I think, from Boston College. He's pretty good, but I assume he's going to be really good at Indiana. I think they kept a lot of their line. Wide receiver, they got Jordan Marshall.
Nick Marsh.
Nick Marsh, the Michigan State kid.
Yeah.
He's a beast. He's a beast, like absolute beast. I love him.
And Shaz Preston.
Shaz Preston from
Tulane.
Tulane, yeah. He's actually a speed demon too.
Yeah.
I think so. Like they got some good guys, but like Nick Marsh is really good. Nick Marsh might have been their number one wide receiver last year, but like they probably don't have the Omar Cooper.
Special. Deep threat. Oh, no, you're thinking of Elijah Sarrett.
Yeah, like they probably don't have the Omar Cooper, Elijah Surratt 1-2 punch. I don't think Preston is going to be on that level. Nick Marsh is, but I don't think. Now maybe Charlie Beckers will take another step up. He's still back, so maybe he'll take another step up. And then defensively, I mean, that's where a lot of their transfers came in. I'm pretty sure defensively they just retooled there, which I think they'll be more than fine. So that's my thing on Indiana. I just think a lot of people there are going to like kind of blindly just trust them just because of how dominant last year went. But I don't know. We'll see. So what I will say, they did lose their on defense. The big thing they lost some guys. The big guy they lost is Aiden Fisher, though. He was he was the quarterback of the defense, and he's been with Kurt Signetti like his whole career. So losing him will hurt, but they're still going to be good.
So what my thing with Indiana is, with them winning the championship recently, what I really like about it is all of a sudden Kurt Signetti's portal is so open. Because before in years past they had to go lower. They had to go 2025. In 2025 they went with, like you said, the group of 5 powerhouse teams. The teams that they put production on the field, they've done good on the field. Their group of 5, we can get them because it's not a crazy strive. Deandro Pons, for example, is a draft pick this year coming from JMU. Or, I mean, obviously I think that came with Signetti, but Elijah Sarrett also came from JMU. Or Sean Osbury came from Old Dominion. He was pulling these guys from the group of 5. Now he's playing and proved that, hey, I'm the best coach in the league. I'm easily the best coach. I think he's up there with Saban in not all time, but in his peak. He's competing with Saban as I'm the guy you want to go to. And what I'm noticing is their group of 5 guys this year, it's Tulane. They got a guy from Tulsa. They got a guy from North Dakota State. And they got a guy from Troy and a guy from Hawaii. They got 5 guys from a group of 5, and they got a bunch more transfers that are not group of 5. So it's just kind of showing hey, I'm this good. You come here, you would become better. You'll become better. You'll go on the rise. And all of a sudden, he's not reaching for the talent that was just good. It was good enough for the group of 5. It was good enough for the power conferences. He could advance them and make them better. Now he's going for the top of the group, the top of the Power 4, and saying, "Hey, come here, come play with us." Wisconsin's Joe Burrow, Nick Marsh, Josh Hoover. I think he's a furry, right? Josh Hoover?
Furry? Well, yeah.
Yeah, there's the whole thing. But AJ Harris, those are 4 of the guys who are from Power 4 conferences, and they're considered their best guys. He's not going for the shiny toys and Sam Levin, Cam Coleman. He's getting the guys who he knows plays well, and he knows will make the difference. And I really like that. I really believe in that, because it's just okay, you could look at 2025, and I don't understand why some people were low on them. I don't understand why some people are high on them. 2026, though, now he's getting those guys that he wasn't able to get in 2024 or 2025. And I think that change is going to be huge, and it's going to do crazy numbers for them. And we could play win-loss game, because I think their schedule is also very easy. You ready?
Yep.
North Texas.
Win.
Howard.
Win.
West Kentucky.
Win.
Northwestern.
Win.
Rutgers.
Win.
Nebraska.
Win.
Ohio State in Indiana.
I gave Ohio State the L, so I'll go win here.
Michigan in Ann Arbor.
I will give that one an L.
Okay. Minnesota in Indiana. USC in Indiana.
I gave that one a win, I'm pretty sure.
That's right. Washington in Washington.
It'd be tough since I gave Michigan the dub. I will give Indiana the dub.
Yeah. I also think that Washington's home versus Big House is way different. And Purdue's their last game.
Dub. So 12-0, 10-2, probably worst.
So that's like what we're looking at. It's just crazy to me that Indiana. So, okay, you want to do one last thing?
Yep.
If you had to rank them, top to bottom, Big Ten. Let me see if I can get a. Hold on. Let me see if I can get a Big Ten ranker. Like, can I get the? Oh, it's gonna be. This is not what I want. Is there like a manual ranker?
You can probably go to tier list and then just pull up the go to the college football tier list. There might be a Big Ten tier list, but you go college football tier list and just pull out the Big Ten teams out of it.
There we go. We got one. Okay, so just. I mean, do you want to do S to A or do you want to just do based off of what you think is the best and worst?
1 second. I'm gonna try to pull up. Let me pull it up on my schedule side too. Let's go.
I thought there was. I forgot the website. There's a website I leave open. Oh, Rankly. Ranker. Rank. Let's see what I can do here. I might be able to do something. Oh, here we can do this. So I have a ranker, and I just.
Okay, I don't know what you have, but I have a tier list of all
right.
just the Big Ten teams.
All right, let's go.
Okay, wait. Can you give me 1 second here?
You're good. If you want to send it to me too,
I'm gonna kind of rank them on my own, so then I can talk through them a bit.
Okay.
Because I gotta think about this for a second.
You're good.
That's tier 2. That's a tier 2 team. That's a tier 2 team. That's a tier 2 team. That's a tier 2 team-ish. Put them there. I'll put them there. 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 Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
So in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. In 18th place, I have Purdue.
Okay.
17th place, I have Rutgers.
Okay.
In 16th place, I have UCLA.
Okay.
In 15th place, I have Maryland.
Okay, that makes sense. I was gonna say, is there a weird one? You're good.
In 14th place, I have Northwestern.
You made the Chicagoans mad already.
In 13th place, I have these come really close, but I'm going to say Illinois.
Okay.
In 12th place, I have Michigan State.
I would like to see that. I would be happy if Michigan State was that good.
In 11th place, I have Minnesota.
All right.
In 10th place, I have Nebraska.
See, that's the tough part. Once you get after this, it's kind of easy. What's the
ninth place? In 9th place, I have Wisconsin.
Okay.
I think that 9 through 12, 13 era could be flipped a lot, and I would be A-okay with it. In 8th place, I have Iowa.
Okay.
You're going to hate me for this, so just be prepared. In 7th place, I have Michigan.
Oh, how high are you putting Penn State?
In 6th place, I have Penn State.
Okay. I disagree, but we'll get into that in a second. Yeah. What's your 5th?
In fifth, I have Washington. Fourth, I have USC. And then again, my top three is so interchangeable, but I went Ohio State 3, Oregon 2, Indiana 1.
Ooh, you definitely. So, okay, first off, I would bump Penn State down to between Iowa and Wisconsin.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fair.
That would be. I think those are
Okay, let me tell you this. So I kind of tiered these teams. I only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I had 5 tiers I could mess with here.
Yeah.
I could add more, but I just had 5 tiers here. So the first tier I had the Indiana, Oregon, Ohio State.
Yep.
And then the next tier I had USC, Washington, Penn State, Michigan, Iowa. Then the next tier I had Wisconsin, Nebraska. Then the next year I had Minnesota, Michigan State, Illinois, Northwestern, Maryland, UCLA, and then the last one I had Rutgers and Purdue. I kind of thought Rutgers and Purdue were kind of by far the worst.
So you're that low on Rutgers? I was a little higher on Rutgers. Not.
See, I just don't believe it. I think Rutgers lost a lot, and I just don't think they really got much.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think of like another. I mean, Illinois being that low, So I know we already talked about it, and we're gonna wrap it up, but. Illinois that low over, you don't think they'll have that much of a bounce back season or that much of a recovery season?
I mean, I think for the most part between like a Wisconsin and Maryland Northwestern, I think you're talking about a record between like fucking 7-5 and 5-7. You know, like I think they're all like if you like, I don't think Illinois could go any higher. I really don't think Illinois is better than Nebraska or Wisconsin, to be honest with you. But if you wanted to put them over like Minnesota or Michigan State, sure, go ahead. So like, I would maybe have them like 10th.
Yeah, I could probably make like this work in my head where I have Illinois just a bit ahead. I have Penn State behind Iowa and Michigan, and I think that is kind of my list. I think I agree with you, Rutgers and Purdue. Now that you mentioned that they lost so much, they lost Anthony Calc.
Like, I mean, if you want to put Rutgers like ahead of, like 3 spots ahead of, like UCLA ahead of Northwestern ahead of Maryland, like I could be convinced. You know,
but you could also just do this and just add a bunch of rows and then say Purdue, and then everybody else, and then Rutgers. Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to do it. Is just throw Purdue all the way at the bottom. And then you kind of have like a bunch of space for everyone, and then Rutgers, and then it's just UCLA.
Well, and like UCLA with the new coach, like they could be like UCLA and Michigan State are 2 teams that like with new coaches, like they could be like pretty good, or they could just be crap the first year. Like I just don't know what to really think. You know?
Yeah, they're kind of like that. Those 3 tiers, like if you're doing it 5 tiers and then Purdue, it's like UCLA could be bouncing on the bottom 3. You could also argue that USC could be up on tier 1, maybe. If you saw a lot of growth, I don't see that happening, but there's a chance of it. But I think Washington's probably set in stone in their spot. I think Penn State could fall a little bit, and same thing for Iowa. I think Iowa's just perfectly mid. That tier 2 will hold, just because everybody below them is pretty much worse than mid. Wisconsin could probably bounce up, but there's so much flexibility. I think we're good though on that.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on. Hopefully we'll see you back for SEC.
Oh, yeah. We'll be doing this all off season, I assume.
Oh, yeah. So, if you made it this far, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, share. If you watched an hour and 8 minutes, like, how are you not liking, subscribing, sharing even, to be there for the next one? Like, come on, turn on the notifications. But we'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.